So to move on to our next division, which will be the Central Division in the Eastern Conference, we're going to talk about the Bucks. The Bucks did go and acquire Damian Lillard. In the process, they lost a handful of players. They lose Drew Holiday. They also lose Grayson Allen. So now they're rocking with the big three: Dame Time, Greek Freak, and then they like to call him K-Mid, and that's what he is. He's definitely mid, in my opinion. What do we think of the Bucks?
Okay, so again, them getting rid of they lose some draft picks, of course, some future draft picks. I think it's 24 and 28 or something like that. But the fact that they got rid of two very important and integral pieces that were part of their last actual playoff runs and finals appearance and win, I think this does set them back a little bit, because let's be honest, Dame doesn't play the defense.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And he's ball dominant. In that team synopsis and how that team is focused, Giannis brings it down on the fast break. They do like to run fast. Middleton likes to handle the rock a lot too, because he sets up the plays for Giannis. Now, if Dame buys in fully, then he's gonna have to realize that he can't be ball diamond like he was in Portland all the years he's been there.
Yeah,
that's why the ball has always flown to him.
I think they're gonna have a rough start in the beginning. Just like we've seen with a lot of these blockbuster trades, they start off very slow. Everybody buys into the hype and is ready to call them championship contenders. And then as it kind of goes by, it starts to be like, what the hell did we do? And then come near the end of the season, it's like, okay, they're clicking now. And then it's like, we won't win this year, but give us till next year. And the other thing, Damon's been hurt a lot too. So like his health at risk is a big factor. You know, the Bucks weren't a high scoring team last year. They don't live and die by three like most of the NBA does. But now with Dame, you expect those 3-point numbers to increase. But is his offensive efficiency going to make up for Drew and Grayson's defensive efficiency? Because both of them are very, very good defenders in that backcourt. That's going to be the test to really determine how well they will be this season. I'm not ready to jump and put them at championship contenders, but I do believe they're a A-tier squad. Yeah,
they're definitely an A-tier squad. Like I said, I just think them losing Drew, because Drew defensively has guarded 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Dame doesn't do that. Dame just does not do that.
Dame barely guards
one. Yeah. They're going to have to pick some other pieces up out there for sure. They have to pick somebody up to cover up Dame's mistakes.
Going on from there, let's take a look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were a fun team to watch. I mean, Donovan Mitchell and Garland were a lot of fun. Y'all know I love their center as well. But there's already been confirmation that Donovan Mitchell is not going to re-sign. So it's like, what kind of attitude do you go in as a squad to know that your star player is already saying that, yeah, he's gone next year? So like, this is it, you know, so will he be traded before the deadline? That way they can get some value off it. Will he play out the season? How hard will he play? How will that affect the mental of all the players? The NBA is a long season. It's not like the NFL. There's games 3 to 4 times a week. You know, you're unlocked for 1 week. It makes a difference. What do we think about the Cavs?
I mean, now is this move to get a bigger check, a bigger contract? Because
he's just not. I don't think he doesn't like to live in Cleveland. I think that's what it is. I don't think he wants to live in Cleveland.
But this is the best situation for him.
Oh, by far.
Where are you going to go?
By far, Donovan Mitchell has looked like an absolute stud out there. And he has a lot of young people. Yeah. I really like LeVert. They have up-and-coming players that just either need to work on certain elements in their game or put on a little bit of size, and then they can be really competent and be a really good team. But people just don't want to play in Ohio, I guess, which is, I get it, but also sad.
Jarrett Allen, who is a defensive force. He's a defensive force. Sharif Cooper is nice at the point guard position, the backup point guard position. Darius Garland is a future superstar. I mean, they actually picked up some pieces from the Warriors summer league, and I'm like, y'all have some good pieces that are depth pieces. Why would you want to leave from there?
I don't know either. As far as ranking go, I mean, if I didn't know all the information that I do, I'd want to put them at a B tier team. I think they're definitely better than the Raptors and will be better than the Raptors, but I also just wonder where their head's going to be at. And if this were ranking by how many wins that they're going to have, I think it's going to be closer to the Raptors than it will be to the Knicks.
I don't know if it's going to be closer to the Raptors. I think they're definitely better than the Raptors.
Okay. I think they're definitely better than the Raptors.
I can see them having a better record than. I can definitely see them having even a better record than the Knicks, to be honest. Even though he's one to leave, that doesn't mean he's going to play bad, because he's now this season. If he's going to actually leave, this season's for him to sell himself. So he's going to play to his highest potential, because he's trying to get paid.
Go ahead and throw him at the B. And we'll move on to the Chicago Bulls, who just can't catch a dang break, man. I mean, Lonzo just looking more and more like he'll never play basketball again. Unfortunate, and he has been a big missing piece for their team in order to maybe not make them like, big contenders or major competition, but at least be a force to reckon with. I mean, they made it to the play-in, and I don't even know if you could say they deserve to be in the play-in. What do we think about them going into this year?
Hey, if it wasn't for DeMar DeRozan's daughter, that situation probably wouldn't worked out for them. She was a big part of that win more than almost most of the players. I do feel bad for Lonzo Ball. I do think that's another team that has some quality players that, if Chicago wanted to, they can start with a kind of quasi restructure to get some money back, but also some younger players. And just kind of build from there. You still got DeRozan. DeRozan can still be a leader. Torrey Craig can still be a leader. Alex Caruso is still a leader. Andre Drummond, who's somebody I like that potentially gets overshadowed because he's not on the right teams most of the time. I just think, as far as where they go on the tier list, because of where they're at in the state of Chicago, I mean, I don't mean like the physical state. I just mean like like metaphysical, like the state of Chicago.
Team levels.
I don't think they're a C. I don't think they're a C, to be honest.
You don't think they're a C? I don't think they're a B. I agree. I don't think they're a C. I don't think they're a bright future, just because it doesn't seem like they're making all the right moves. Like you said, I mean, they signed Torrey Craig, which I guess is good, but they're not a team that, if I'm a up and coming player, that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go play for Chicago. Like, that's not what I'm seeing right now. It's like I'm leaning in between trash and C, to be honest. You're thinking B?
I'm not thinking B. I just think I think a 5-game series, I think they can beat Toronto. That's like
okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of hard to put them on the same level.
We'll put them at high C above Toronto right now. Then we'll do that. I'm cool with that. Next, we're gonna have our Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers finished 35-47 last year. This has been a team that I've always just not known a whole lot about. So any Indiana Pacers fans that are watching this, just know, please correct me and let me know where I'm going wrong. They did get Obi Toppin from the Knicks. They did sign Bruce Brown, which me and Non both agreed was a great grab by them. We're not even quite sure why Bruce Brown left. We know he got his championship, but he should have stayed.
I mean, just recently, Gilbert Arenas went on his social media and said, no, not Gilbert Arenas. Another national player, but they basically said, players stop chasing the bag in exchange for not getting trophies. Because like that just shows how much of a competitor you're not. Is if you rather chase the bag than chase a trophy. And I'm like, I kind of agree with what he's saying, because Bruce Brown, you went to the Pacers for the bag, but you're on a championship team.
I mean, you'll be lucky to ever sniff the playoffs within the next half a decade. You'll be lucky to. Do we think they're C, or do we think they're trash? Does Bruce Brown make that much of a difference? Because last year they were trash. Does Bruce Brown make a big difference to be able to put them into a C category?
I mean, if you say it like that, no.
Then I think they're trash. And then the final team from the Central Division will be Detroit Pistons. The Pistons wind up going 17-65 last year. They're a team that we knew were going to have. We knew they were going to have a bad year, but they do have some young guys. But again, it just didn't come into fruition to actually be good. I mean, and I don't know if I see it being good now. I mean, I think this is an easy trash for me. They have young players, but it doesn't seem like they're getting any better year in and year out for me to be like, oh, they got a bright future, because last year should have been an upgrade, and I believe they might have lost more games than they did the prior one. And if not, it was only a couple more because they only got 17 in the first place.
You know, how many times do you have to have a losing season to want to be different and want to be better? How many times? Like, when do you finally get the boys together and say, we're not doing this again? I mean, the Detroit Pistons haven't been good since what, the early 2000s, late 90s?
Since what, Rip Hamilton and
honestly,
and Ben Wallace and those boys, you know. Chauncey. I mean, that's probably been a while. Really the last time. Yeah, they're trash. Like they they need to if they were smart, they would get rid of some players to other teams, get some money in return, and also get some draft picks and build for the future. Give yourself a 5-6 year plan and build for the future.